Hello everybody and welcome back. So for today's video, I thought I would spice things up a little bit and do my first recipe slash cooking tutorial. I absolutely love cooking, especially baking, and being on the autoimmune protocol diet and being someone who eats very clean, I do end up cooking a lot of my own meals. And along the way, I have encountered tons of different recipes. I've tried out lots of different recipes, and this recipe is one that I have made up completely on my own, and it is a paleo chocolate chip cookie recipe. I've tried so many different chocolate chip cookie recipes when I was doing very strict AIP and when I was just doing kind of more of a paleo sort of thing, and I know what works and I know what doesn't work, so I kind of combined my favorite parts about all the different recipes that I've made, and I made this recipe really my own. So I will put the recipe in the description along with all of the instructions, but here I just thought we could, bake together and have some fun. I freaking love baking. This recipe is also really nice because you can really make it your own as much as you want. There are definitely some things that you need to have in there. I haven't played around really too much with it a lot because I kind of know what works for me, but I'll mention those things kind of along the way. The first step that I did, which is the most important one, is preheating my oven to 375 degrees. So our predominant ingredient is almond flour. I haven't tried it with coconut flour, so if you're someone who's doing really strict AIP, or if you have an almond allergy or sensitivity, maybe coconut flour would work. Honestly, I did so many recipes with coconut flour at the beginning of doing AIP, and I just got really burnt out on it, and I was so sick of everything tasting like coconut. So I'm really happy I can have almond flour and I use it all the time. So you're gonna wanna put in 2.5 cups. All right, so I'm combining all my dry ingredients in one bowl and then my wet in another, and then going to hand mix it and combine them. So that's what I'm doing right now. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna add collagen. This is the brand that I use. I get it at Sprouts or on Amazon. I know a lot of people like the Vital Proteins one. I like that one as well. It's just really expensive. And this one has worked out really well for me. So I add about 3 scoops of collagen. Might do a little bit more. That's one of the things you can kind of make your own. But I eat collagen every day, and this is a good way to get it in your diet, because what better way to have something than in a cookie, And then next I'm just gonna take a teaspoon of baking soda. All right, and that does it for our dry ingredients. So we can just set that one aside and pull out our wet one. All right, and now I'm going to combine my eggs, my maple syrup, my vanilla extract all together and then hand mix it. So I use 2 eggs. And then wash my hands to get the salmonella off. All right, and then next we add the maple syrup. I like to do about 1/2 cup or so. If you don't like your cookies as sweet, you can do a little bit less. If you want them more sweet, you can do a little bit more. That's the fun with this recipe, is you can really make it your own. And then I do about 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And then I'm gonna take a hand mixer and I'm just gonna whip a lot of that together. All right, and then we're gonna take our dry ingredients and we're gonna pour the wet ingredients into it. And then the last step we're gonna do is we're gonna add our ghee. The oven's ready. We're gonna add the ghee and the almond butter to it. Now, like I said, the recipe is very, very, very easy to customize. So if you have a dairy sensitivity, you could totally use coconut oil or avocado oil for in place of the ghee. I just really like using ghee in baking because it adds this beautiful like texture to it and this creaminess. I don't know, for me it makes it feel like I'm eating a cookie. Whenever I add the ghee to recipes, it's like, okay, this tastes like what I used to eat before I was on this new lifestyle, you know? And like I said, I mean, I know I probably should eat more coconut oil because it's great for you, but I have like an aversion to things that taste overly coconutty just from doing the AIP diet and baking so much with that and just, you know, really trying to find something that'll work, but literally everything tasted like coconut. So I just added about half a cup of almond butter to that. I'm gonna add half a cup of melted ghee to it and not drop it. That's important. That's an easy way to ruin your day right there. And then I'm going to hand mix all of that all together, and it will become really tough to get off, but it's worth it, I promise. All right, now this is probably the least fun part of making the recipe. You have to like scrape the excess off of the hand mixers, which isn't super fun, but just make sure you do that because you don't want to miss out on any of this. All right, and then if it's not all combined perfectly, then just give it a quick stir to make sure it's all incorporated, because it gets a little tough to use the hand mixer right at the end, for sure. And then you're gonna add your chocolate chips. I like to use the Enjoy Life mini chips, but you can use whatever chocolate chips you want. I do about half a cup probably, but I just kind of eyeball it. Another thing you can customize, you can have as many chocolate chips as you want, or as little as you want. I know everyone's different. I know my mom, she like prefers to have less chocolate chips and more cookie to it, which I respect. Fully disagree. All right. And then after all those steps, this is kind of what your dough should look like. Yeah. And then you're gonna wanna take a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and you can just take the dough and kind of roll it up into balls and place them on the parchment paper. Make sure you wash your hands before. And yeah, we're just gonna roll them into balls. Your hands will get very sticky doing this, so just be prepared for that. You don't have to roll it into balls if you don't want to. You can just scoop it on, but I like to get like a nice shape to them. All right, I definitely have a lot more dough that I want to make, but I only lined one baking sheet. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven for about 14 minutes and finish up lining the rest of these, and you'll see me again once they're done. Don't tell my mom. Yay! So the finished product should look like this. Those are some good looking cookies. These are definitely the best batch that I've made, so I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys liked this recipe. Let me know if you tried it. And I love putting collagen in just anything I possibly can. Seriously, I put collagen in my yogurt, I put it in my pancakes. I sometimes put it in like soups if I can, just to get that, you know, dose of collagen in as much as you possibly can, you know? If you have any questions about substitutions with this recipe or bake times or anything like that, just leave a comment down below. And yeah, I think that's all I got to say. If you guys liked today's video, please make sure to give it a like down below. That tells me that you want to see more recipes. I've got tons and tons to show you, especially with the fall coming up. Lots of soups, stews, and yummy holiday baked goods. So just let me know. And as always, please subscribe so I can keep making that. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Just subscribe if you want. You know, you've made it this far, you might as well just subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.